We're on episode 5. Whoa, speakers were a little loud there. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there's still a lot of gray areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Don't worry about me. No matter what the outcome, I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? A defense attorney should never believe their client. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. But there's one decisive difference between you and her. And that is, you're not a defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. My first trial without a Fae helping me. No one's going to bail me out this time. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Edgeworth. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since his trial. I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it on the prosecutor's office law. Whoa! Whoa! He's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life? What? There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Starr, to the stand. The cough-up queen. Haven't I seen you somewhere before? You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Oh, caviar. I've never eaten caviar before. The judge is really wolfing it down. And for you, I have a Fiesta Bowl. Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? Fine, you, sir. Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. It's salt. Rich people's salt. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. The heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession, now. Me? The name is Angel Star. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. Hurry it up, old man. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. Huh? What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Star was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. What? Miss Star was a detective? I know who you are. Cop-up Queen Angel Star, Your Honor. Long time no see. Very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Star. Just who is this lady? That is a very good question, Phoenix. If I might have the court's attention over here. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor spaces, yes? Oh, wait, that was the judge. Whoops. The crime took place by a car in the back of A block. The crime took place by a car in the back of A block in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness, and an arrest was made on the spot. And who was this valiant witness? Why, it was me, Your Honor. A witness? Did you see the very moment of the crime? Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor. It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright? I can't agree on principle, Your Honor. It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining? If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Star. Wait, are they talking about me? Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finally honed detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend. How touching. As you can see, there is no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman. So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? Still thinking about that. It is merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. How would you know a day like this? What? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim, killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? She was fired. To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless. Very well, you may continue, Miss Starr. This boyfriend, he's the detective? Not that boyfriend, the security guard. That boyfriend? You have several. Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, the other. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants. I'll stick with the lunchbox. Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. The security guard is in the lot in A block. It's up on the second level so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunch boxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So, she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. Okay, what did you sense exactly? You sensed something. So you're saying you had a premonition of the murder? It felt like, how would you say, oh yes. It was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds. I have no idea what that means. It doesn't mean anything. Speaking of a detective's intuition, wasn't the victim Mr. Bruce Goodman also a detective? Yes, well, he was like a young cheese. A young cheese? Pale white cheese, not yet tangy. Yeah, not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn. Then I must be hard-yellowed and sharp as a tack. Cheddar? Yeah, with the odor of the old cheese to match. In any case, there, in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind. A garish car, you mean? Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes. Mr. Edgeworth? Incidentally, the knife was, with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edwards, wasn't it? Indeed it was. What an odd case this is. The person you saw, you sure it was the defendant? I saw her no further from 30 feet away. I'm certain it was her. If she is telling the truth, we're doomed. Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick. Witness, in your testimony, you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, Rookie. Rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter. Crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. Now that was inspiring. Well, now I want a fritter. Damn it. Oh, what up, Mana? Gonna go to bed with no Ace Attorney stream. Well, you're just in time. Yeah, we've barely started. I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism. Alright, Mana. I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed. A photograph? You took this? The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snapped. I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with the camera. I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck, huh? Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now? You think I'd show it to you? Prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs. Well, this is most certainly the defendant. Nope. That is unmistakably Lana Sky. So, what was the defendant doing at the time? Tell us more about this knife that the suspect was carrying. Well, I'd say the blade was about 4 inches long. Is that right, Mr. Edgar? It is your knife, after all. Yes, that's about right. Prosecutors are by nature well versed in the location of man's vital organs. What? No? What the fuck? Okay, I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set. You can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg. I mean a person. Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor. So the defendant was holding a knife. What then? Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You did see her raise the knife to strike, no? The defense has a point. Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late. Too late? Yes, The next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon. I see.
It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it.
You said that before. Anything else?
Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless. Is flawless.
Sounds pretty fatal to me.
What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty?
Let's keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer.
Don't smile like that.
Yeah, this shit's upside down. I know that for a goddamn fact. Shit. If that's her... wait, where's Detective Goodman? Because he should be, like, fucking, like, falling out of the trunk, right? Whoops. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this is the picture she took and she was holding a knife. Where is the knife? Like, where's the knife? I mean, like, where's the knife in the picture? And you witnessed this? You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with the knife? As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch. Ew, what? I'm sure somebody would find that actually kind of tasty. I'm sure a fun one. Please forgive me, I've missed lunch myself. Oh well, I technically skipped dinner, but whatever. I'm sure that is a fine lunch. But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife? Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yet it was still stronger than your ever feeble mind, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after.
Objection!
And how can you tell that? Blood splatter. See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat? But this picture's black and white. See? Oh, yes, it could be hard to tell, but it could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem, except you. Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take that kind of abuse? You got a better idea? No problem. No, she mentioned I see no problem here. Other than myself. Mr. Wright, you can't just let him walk all over you. That's just sad. Feeling sad, Mr. Wright. Perhaps a bittersweet first love lunchbox is in order. Well, that was a waste of time. Let's continue with the testimony. Okay, so I was on the right track.
Hold it!
Whoops. Alright, so we gotta go, we gotta do this again.
Objection! Objection!
Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's it? If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure you understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder.
Objection!
Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hand in that photograph. Wow, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder, a serious offense. Witness, add this to your testimony. The murder was planned. The rubber gloves prove it. So how come we didn't recover like rubber gloves when she was arrested?
Hold it!
What if she wasn't just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves?
Objection!
The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves of the kind used for autopsies. In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime. Impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, Miss Stark. This is bad. She's got them thinking this was all planned. If she could prove this claim, the trial's already over. I've got to think of a way to show that this wasn't premeditated.
There's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it.
Shit, what do I do?
Hold it! Objection!
Okay, so how could I prove that it's not premeditated?
Objection!
No, not the phone.
Objection!
Nope. Just to be sure.
Objection!
Hmm. I'm definitely on the wrong track right now. Shit. I guess if somebody can help me out. Then again, when does Twitch chat ever actually help a streamer? Okay, that doesn't help us much. Nope. plate. Previous recipients. One guy's listed a bunch of times.
Objection! Hold it! Objection! Hold it!
Wait. So yeah, why did she use Edra's knife? If it was planned, how come she didn't use her own?
Objection!
Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell boxed lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. The murder weapon was in the trunk. The defense has a request. We ask the witness to provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Sky planned this murder. And that's why she was wearing those special gloves. It seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing, the murder weapon? This knife just so happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Order, order, order. Great, now the tide is turning in our favor.
Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free.
Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution needs to prove. Nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do, she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she be wearing... I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw and not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now? Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor has a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it?
So, if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy?
No. In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. It's funny, Emma has like quite a bit of knowledge but not a lot of wisdom. Oh well, she'll learn.
Hold it!
You said that, but you don't. But you haven't told us how you know. That's what I'm about to tell you, Rookie. I believe what she had just said was a mere prelude to the story she's about to tell. Try not to interrupt her again. Rookie. Never interrupt a storyteller. It's like pulling a bun out of the oven half-baked. Something's half-baked here, alright, and it's you. Try not to confuse the witness, try not to confuse the defense witness. They're not very quick on their feet. Now, why did you believe the suspect had intentions to murder the victim? Her actions speak for themselves.
Hold it!
You have no proof that Miss Skye called him there. You have no proof that she didn't. Mr. Edgeworth, thoughts? There is no record of a call made on the defendant, Ms. Lana Skye's phone. She might have written him a letter. could have tried public phone at first, at least. In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered. I'm sure you had a reason to be there. Witness. Why do you think the suspect who summoned the victim that day? Or why do you think it was the suspect?
Hold it!
Kind of grudge. Well, I wouldn't know that. Of course you don't. That's because she didn't have a grudge. Ricky. I have a lunchbox here. Now what's inside? How am I supposed to know? See? We agree there's a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like a lunchbox with pretzels. Don't you agree? I get it. That's why my lunch was so salty. This judge isn't very good with metaphors. The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell us your basis for thinking this? It's simple.
Hold it!
A human machine? That's a contradiction.
Objection!
Please. Can't you find fault with something of substance, Mr. Wright? I'm not reading that. You say again and again. How many times does she stab him exactly? We often say chop into 1,000 pieces, but we don't actually mean 1,000 pieces. What difference does it make if the deed is done? Nobody's getting mad at me. Let's just say she stabbed him several times and leave it at that. Leave it at that? This is a murder case. Mr. Wright, you should speak up if you have an objection, you know. Star has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off. So we gotta figure out how to really throw her off her game then, right? The short wick burns out the fastest. It's a scientific fact. I wonder, wouldn't it also depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax and even a really short wick will burn longer. Obviously, more scientific testing is required. One knife wound.
Objection!
You say she stabbed him again and again. But you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Star. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that that death was due to a blood. The autopsy report states that the death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Oh, you're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth.
What a hunk. He's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed?
Well, witness.
You got the crime scene set, right? The fuck is this?
Oh, thanks.
I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realize that such mistakes are possible.
So, you're saying you mistook something for blood?
When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Blood splattered from her victim. Or splattered blood, whatever. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice.
Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Justify.
Her muffler looked red. Yeah, her muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. But she's not wearing a muffler.
Hold it!
Her red muffler? Yes, like a scarf. The chief prosecutor always wears one around her neck. So she could be easily hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose. Wow. This guy was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she? But wait, isn't it odd that you mistook that for splattered blood?
Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib.
The judge or the bib. That's why this place feels so much like a kindergarten sometimes. Actually, I do think I saw some traces of blood on her chest.
However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There's only one knife wound.
Apparently Miss Starr isn't entirely sure of her own testimony. Mr. Wright, this is our chance. Chance for what, I wonder? Yeah, she's not wearing it. So...
Objection!
Miss Starr, I demand an explanation.
The witness is clearly not suited for detective work.
What?
The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself with this photograph.
Huh? But that can't be.
Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations. Perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words, but good.
In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection? Chopped fucking liver? What's going on here? No one cares about the defense? No one cares? No one cares about me, dude. Nobody cares. Great. Awesome. But it was there, a scarf. No, not that, but something red, really.
Well, now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business.
What?
Very well, witness. Continue our testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that.
Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. The most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah, yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made it an escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile.
You're quite determined about this scarf, aren't you?
I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. Same thing. That's me, Angel Star.
That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake.
Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten.
No thanks.
Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum.
An oil drum? Hard to imagine.
Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will.
Hold it!
So, where is this partition of the floor plans? I'm sure she means
this wall next to the car.
There was a wall there, about 6 feet high. She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do.
And where did you do that?
Hold it!
You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. I'd like to see this on the floor plans just to be safe. The lunch line car was... She was a visitor.
She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block.
So you witnessed the murder from here.
That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes. Is that correct, Miss Starr?
Yes, that's right.
But there was a chain link fence in front of you.
I went over it, of course.
Amazing. A copper queen lunch lady athlete indeed.
It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence. So she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence is about 9 feet high too. So how did Miss Sky not get away?
Why would she just randomly mention a muffler to somebody? So
Hold it!
she mentioned the muffler. What exactly did she say? If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just that one word. So, what you heard was the suspect talking to you, but someone else. Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Phone? She can't mean. By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately. My memory. It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see. No, the court doesn't see, Miss Starr. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall? That's right. In the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently, it was out of order. And so she used a cell phone. Indeed, the emergency. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. What? Good witnessing, witness. Sorry. I'm fine. I'm fine. Let me take 1 second to go wash my face really fast. Okay. Let's let's continue before I lose my mind. Good witnessing. Whatever happened to good testifying? You should of course add this to your testimony. The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. I saw it all, how she tried to use the phone on the wall, but had to use her cell phone instead.
you could restate your testimony for the court?
I was going to ask the same thing.
I'll only say this one time, so listen close, rookies. The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind this partition. And she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. So she pulled her own cell out of her pocket. But
And during that time, you had climbed over the chain link fence.
then, when I boldly grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this?
What is it, Mr. Wright?
Hold it!
She made to escape. Can you be more specific? She brushed aside my hand and ran. It was a terrible sight to see, like a double lard and a pâté of foie gras.
What?
She even kicked over an oil drum at me.
An oil drum? There was an oil drum lying on its side at the scene of the crime.
But it's strange.
What's that?
If she wanted to escape, why didn't she run out the other way?
The other way? Oh, the parking lot entrance.
That's right. It doesn't make any sense that she would run from behind the partition to the oil drums. Excellent. More mysteries. I wish we could solve a few before finding more, though. So Miss Sky tried to run? I'm sorry, my sister is so suspicious, Mr. Wright. Not as sorry as I am. Well, she didn't do it. You have to believe me. So I have to prove that she didn't try to run?
Objection! Hold it! Objection! Objection!
Because I was thinking about it, okay, where the phone was, if she knows she has her phone, why wouldn't she just use her phone? Whatever. Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Sky.
Objection!
The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You, who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Listen to me and I'll make you cough it all up. Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. What is the meaning of this? It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch, she's coughing up lies.
Objection!
That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question? Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. Where she saw it? Miss Sky tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Star to lie about it. Pointless to lie. I see.
But the witness did actually see this guy using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different location.
Objection!
A different location. You know, that's a pointless lie if I ever heard one.
Objection!
Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it. Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime? The testimony we heard now points in one direction.
Take that!
This is the only place where she could have been. The security guard room. Indeed, the security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built at the second floor so you can see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? Are there many places where she could have seen the phone? Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime and the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes. Well, Miss Starr? How many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today a man has gotten the better of Angel Starr. Order! Order! Witness. What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better. I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished, and I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. Guilty? Is she talking about Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make any sense. She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. That truth still stands.
Objection!
It still stands. I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without good reason. So tell us what the reason was, Mr. Wright. Huh? Me? Who else? Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from D block. It must make a vital difference, but what? What would change? It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime.
Objection!
My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plan and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see.
Objection!
What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station.
Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Sky?
Well, witness?
You ordered the squid wheels, right? The quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing a BB&J with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend.
Boysenberry for the boyfriend.
He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime for the glass-walled station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. The door was locked. I couldn't open it. That's why I had to go through the visitors' parking lot in B block.
That's quite a detour.
It took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime.
5 minutes? This changes things considerably.
But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork.
You have a point. And the spork is a wonderful invention.
Would you like another caviar lunch?
Absolutely.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something.
Let's raise an objection.
Objection!
5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You could make pasta in that amount of time, if you like it al dente. I've got lunchboxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie. A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange?
Strange.
If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor?
Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey, don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone.
But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run. This time is different. Miss Guy dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable.
Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in the testimony. Mr. Edgeworth is the next witness ready to go. Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history.
We did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright. That was too close.
I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned.
What? Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right? That's the one she tried to foist off on me.
I prefer not to take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say?
I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence. What was that?
Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes?
My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr.
Is this your jumbo lunchbox?
Woohoo, a triple decker. Out of deference to the witness' determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this.
You know what? Hang on. I want to do. Let me. let me. Yeah. I just want to. I really want to commit to this one bit. Please humor me. I have unfortunately run out of snacks. So I did not realize that this was going to be very food oriented. Considering that I just, ate a giant fucking burrito. 1 second.
Alright, now. Let's hear about this display of evidence. No.
Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed. What you going to pull out of her lunchbox this time? I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One, of course, was the victim's. And the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Ms. Lana Sky. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence.
What? There's blood found on that shoe?
Try Luncheon for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs.
Objection!
Witness, what is the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence?
Simple. As I've already said, I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself.
And you had blood tests performed.
Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics.
In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence.
What? You must know the two rules of evidence law. Rule number 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, the shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating.
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, the shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen.
You could at least study some evidence law, really.
The prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness.
Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged.
Victim's shoe. Very well, Mr. White. All right. You may cross-examine the witness.
Why did you lie about those 5 minutes? I guess you could say I just wanted people to look at the results.
Ario Hima. Thanks for hanging out. The results.
How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very own eyes. Compared to that 5-minute blank, a 5-minute blank means nothing.
Then why didn't you just tell the truth?
Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untruest worthy of the vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book. This is when the suspect is admitting she did it? Wait. This when the suspect is admitting she did it.
Okay, obviously I had a brain fart there. But false testimony is the most despicable crime of all, Miss Starr. Let's just get this over with.
And now to the matter of the victim's shoe. And you found the shoe at the scene of the crime? I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. I wanted to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive.
So, like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off with the shoe.
I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. This shoe is my secret weapon if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than just lunchboxes, gentlemen.
I'm happy for you and your lunchbox bag, really. In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now tell us what you did next.
So you brought it to the forensics department. If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you'll need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert. She got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective.
The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it.
Well, the man was stabbed after all.
And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodwin?
As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe.
You can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test. You claim to know something about blood tests, rookie. Huh? Well, speak up. Well, blood comes in 4 types: A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright.
Actually, we could differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there. Which means that we can more or less narrow any sample of blood down to just one person. Or so I hear.
That's pretty specific. If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results. But they said there's very little doubt it could be anyone but Miss Lana Skies.
So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe.
That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that.
Hold it!
I can't let this evidence go through without a fight. You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? Ew. Sound like it hot, Mr. Wright. Sound like your client uses enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup.
Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe?
Problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? Why only one shoe?
This blood, it's my sister's, right?
It appears so. Lana's right hand was bandaged when I saw her in jail. She must have cut herself at the time of the crime.
Poor sis. There's blood here too.
On the sole of the shoe? It's gotta be the victim's then. He must have stepped in a puddle of his own blood.
All this blood is horrible.
This blood might be an important clue.
Come on, Mr. Wright, I know you can find something. Some kind of off-the-cuff contradiction.
I'm trying to avoid saying things off the cuff today. It's pretty sly hiding evidence like that.
There's nothing sly about a lawyer using the law as a weapon. In any case, science is always on our side. Don't forget, scientific investigation is the wave of the future.
Maybe I should investigate this evidence a little more closely. Shit, so on which statement do I show her the shoe?
Objection! Objection! Hold it! Hold it!
If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there's one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction. A gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie. I'd give you a pepper fish gut now, but you couldn't take the heat, could you?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe?
Take that!
I wonder if you noticed, there's blood on the bottom of the shoe. Don't mess with me, rookie, or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe.
Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe.
It makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of his shoe? I was about to say soul.
Take that! Hold it! Take that!
Yeah, the defense has failed to give the court sufficient reason to doubt the prosecution's claim. finds the court finds the defendant Ms. Lana Sky guilty. Everybody go home. The accused will surrender to the court immediately, to be held pending trial at a higher court within a month from today's date. That is all. This court is adjourned. No game over screen, just kicks you right back to the title.
Take that!
There's blood on the bottom of the shield. Where, yeah, like, where is the detective? Knife again?
Take that! Take that!
No, I know why I showed them the picture.
Take that!
The problem lies in the footprint. The footprint? Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? Oh. Well, my hunches are right. Every time, like, there's something missing, I'm like, of course, the fucking dude is missing. Like, no, something else. As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about this shoe.
Objection!
This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints.
Objection!
Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Order. Whoa, witness. What? Great going, Mr. Wright. But it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction. But then why do we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint? Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint. Think, Mr. Wright, think. Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions. What? I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I give her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There's one vital hint of the truth in our testimony.
What are you talking about? What are you on, Mr. Edgeworth?
Think back when she told us about apprehending the suspect. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one, a leopard woman. I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding.
Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty?
Oh, that. I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory.
Witness, well, was the oil drum empty?
Oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. Water? What does that mean?
Still don't get it, Mr. Wright.
Do you want to know the real reason? The reason she knocked it over? The real reason?
Oh, you don't mean...
Yes, the suspect knocked over the oil drum for one reason and one reason alone.
To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. That ties things up quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoe tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then, after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs.
Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty. Erasing evidence. That reminds me. This guy's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she cut herself when she stabbed him?
So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe. Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial. Mr. Wright, do something, please.
What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it.
But enough. There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor. Very well.
But Angel Star is on the prosecution side. She could have been lying about the water.
This court finds the defendant, Ms. Lana Sky.
Little girl, what did you just say? Me? Did you say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution side?
Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid the evidence by erasing the bloody footprints.
Well, I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence.
Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else.
She does.
Objection!
Time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you will be held in contempt of court.
Your threats don't scare the cop up, Queen. Look at this.
Photograph. just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim. Nobody said that. Nobody said that.
I see no room for error in this evidence.
Mr. Wright, wait. Look at the asphalt in this photo. Hey, it's clearly wet.
Erasing the last trace of death from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all. It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. It seems it's what your sister wanted anyway. I'm sorry, Mia. Right. Wet or not, don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not till the bitter end. This is the last piece.
Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good.
Objection!
Your Honor, wait.
What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait?
No, it can't. Then it will be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration.
So right.
Are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I gotta go ahead with this.
I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright.
Take that!
Well, it's probably here, don't you think?
As your elder, Mr. Wright, let me give you a piece of advice.
Take that!
The problem in this photograph is here.
What's this?
There's something poking out of the car's muffler.
Wait a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, you just said muffler. Oh, I see no trace of muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph.
A muffler is also a part on a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system, a pipe.
I see, and I see. What's a suspicious looking claw sticking out of the car's muffler?
So what if there's something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Objection!
Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said it as much in your testimony. What?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth is in the muffler is related to this case.
Because this isn't the same car?
Take that! Take that! Objection! Objection!
Only shows 4. Man, I didn't realize it had gone this far.
Objection! Objection! Take that!
Oh, wait. I think I know. What does this have to do with the case? Lana's phone. Because that's the only thing that, and the only time that anything about a muffler was mentioned.
Take that!
Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court. Yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler. Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Well, it seems we will have to suspend the proceedings.
Suspend?
I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered, we do a disservice to the law. Have the crime scene inspected at once and bring me that cloth. Or better wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed?
I suppose so. Ooh, that was close. But we made it, at least for now.
This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all.
He's still hungry? To be continued. Alright, and back to the title screen we go.